What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Everyman Prepping. And we're going to talk about war games. And I'm not doing a review of the early 1980s movie where the high school kid hacked into NORAD and basically almost caused thermonuclear war. But the war games we are going to talk about could cause thermonuclear war, and that's between, China, Russia, North Korea, and the United States, of course. So, what exactly am I talking about? Well, check this out. We have Russia, China, and North Korea to launch trilateral war games. So they're going to get together and do some war games. This is the first time that I believe in recent history, even far back history, that North Korea has been invited to join in war games. So that's an outlier. Caught my attention. Something that doesn't usually happen, but they're inviting North Korea in to do these war games. And as we all know, before Russia invaded Ukraine, what happened? Lots of war games. They did war games with Belarus on the Ukrainian border. They said this is just for combat readiness. We do this every year. No big deal. Don't worry about it. A few weeks later, the invasion was on. So you got to pay attention to these things, especially when, like I said, you have an outlier, and North Korea has been asked to join in, and they never have before, because we all know that China wants to go after Taiwan, and it might be China, Russia, and North Korea now supporting each other as China goes after Taiwan. So very important stuff here. This is nothing just to take lightly, so let's dig into it. As we do, please like, comment, and share on this video. And for all the subscribers we've had recently, thank you so much. And if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button and join us. So what do we have here? It says here, Russia, China, and North Korea are preparing to conduct joint military drills. Moscow, Beijing, and Pyongyang have all frequently complained about American war games near their borders. And it's true, every year. In fact, United States and South Korea just ended up doing 11-day exercise in that area, right on the border of all those. They do it every year, and it makes North Korea very upset. And they just responded to that by doing some nuclear scorched earth practice drills, laying waste to South Korea, launching missiles and all that good stuff. So, but let's continue what we have here. So in July, if you remember, Sergei Shoigu, this gentleman right here, he went to North Korea, met with Kim Jong-un here, and they had a great talk, a lot of pomp, circumstances, red carpet treatment, all the good stuff. That happened in July, and according to the South Korean intel, they think at that time is when he proposed the joint exercises. And then we have last week, after the U.S. and South Korea ended up their exercises, like I said, in response to this, Kim ordered his forces to conduct and test their nuclear capabilities. China's is very mad at the United States for doing the freedom of navigation in that area as well, which I'm all for. I mean, it's international waters. The U.S. should be throwing their Navy through there. They shouldn't back down, but it does increase tensions. But if they stop doing that, then you might as well just hand Taiwan over at this point. Then we can move on here till Saturday, where it says the Kremlin's envoy to North Korea, Alexander Mastorga, I think that's how you pronounce his name right here. He explained that North Korea's participation in these joint military exercises with China and Russia was an appropriate response to the constant bilateral and trilateral, that's when they include Japan, exercises being done by the U.S. With its partners in Asia. So they're basically saying, you're going to do your exercises, well, we're going to do ours too. The only caveat I put on here is, U.S. and Korea and them, they practice on the defensive side. I don't think they've ever practiced offensive. Not so true with Russia, China, and North Korea. To me, this is them planning for supporting China in the take back of Taiwan and how they're going to do it. I don't think they're doing this for any reason. You don't just invite North Korea, which you've never done before. Like I said, it's an outlier. It should send up a red flag, and it does. This isn't normal, isn't usual. I think it's going to lead to something bigger. But what else do we have here? We have on Monday, Shoigu confirmed Moscow is planning to conduct these joint drills with North Korea. And he said, quote, "Why not? These are our neighbors. There's an old Russian saying, you don't choose your neighbors, and it's better to live with your neighbors in peace and harmony." Okay, that's probably true and all, but I don't think they have to worry about being at odds with China and Russia. They have become very close, tight-knit, working together. And here's you can see from this map here, you got China, North Korea, and Russia all together. This is Japan down here, South Korea. And he's saying, they're our neighbors, better live in harmony with them, and that's what they're doing. They're building alliances, and trailing off of that, we see here, along with the alliances, that Kim Jong-un to visit Putin for arms deal talks. Now, not South Korea, NATO, United States are basically losing their poop over the fact that North Korea or China might supply arms to Russia. And, this big news coming out here just this week that Kim Jong-un, North Korea, is going to go visit Putin and they're going to talk about arms deals. Like I said, Washington, D.C. is losing themselves, so is NATO, saying, you can't do this, don't do it North Korea, don't do it China. However, hey, as we know, over here in the United States, we've given, $60, $70 billion of money and weapons to Ukraine. NATO's given all kinds of weapons, all those countries, most of Europe, tons of supplies and weapons. So this is the problem the U.S. is having on the world stage. They're losing their clout. They're losing their bully pulpit. They're losing their influence, not only because they're financially losing their power with the petrodollar and reserve currency and BRICS and all that, but no longer is the world standing for the U.S. saying, don't do what I do, don't do what I say, don't do what I do. We're supplying arms and weapons, but you can't do it. And the world's going like, screw you. North Korea's like, I'm going to supply weapons. China's, I'm going to supply weapons. Why not? You're supplying weapons to Russia's enemy. We're going to do the same. And it doesn't look like they're, afraid of the U.S. anymore. They're not afraid of the U.S. militarily or repercussions or sanctions. They're not working on Russia. They don't seem to be working on North Korea, probably because they're getting help from China. But no longer can the U.S. just demand that countries do this or that, and they listen. So they're having problems with it, and it's going to continue to get worse. I think the U.S. influence is going to dwindle away as this continues. But let's go into a little bit what I have highlighted here. It says, the U.S. government is now alleging that Kim might soon travel to Russia to meet with the President Putin for a potential major weapons deal. The U.S. Security Council issued a statement Monday saying that that arms negotiations between Russia and North Korea are actively advancing. It's written like it's horrible, it's bad. Look at it from their point of view. Like I said, the U.S. is doing it against Russia. Why shouldn't we? And then lastly, we have at the bottom, Washington has over the course of the Ukraine conflict at various points accused North Korea of supplying the Russian military of additional artillery ammo. U.S. intelligence has in the recent past alleged that train shipments between the two countries included covert ammo supplies, but something that they cannot prove. So tensions are really going up here, as they always have. I know we say that a lot. It seems like it's like beating a dead horse, just repeating myself, but that's what's happening. And, you got to stay informed and on top of it. So war games coming up. We don't know when or where, or if they're going to be naval or land-based or air or a combination. It'll be interesting to see. Do they do mock landings? Do they do mock beachheads? Do they do sinking ship drills? It's going to be important. You got to pay attention to what they're practicing, because they're going to not really show their hand, but they're going to, it's going to be a show of force, and they're going to be, through these exercises telling the United States what they're going to do to them. So we need to pay attention to that. And if you get North Korea riled up, well, if North Korea gets the go-ahead from China or Russia to, do an attack, set off an EMP, nuke, they got nukes and subs now. Maybe that's what they do, and that starts the whole thing off. So as those three start buddying up, and then you throw Iran in there, it's not looking so good for the West. It's not like the West has the power anymore that it used to. So let's keep our eye on this. As I said, more countries are going to defy the U.S. Most of Africa, you can see in Niger, they're kicking out the French. They're saying, you need to get out, get those troops out. We're giving you so many days, or, we're going to escalate this. So it's happening across the world more and more. What you can do is take care of what you can locally yourself. Take care of your preparations. Get ready for when it does happen. It'll seem slowly. Then one day, ships get sunk. One day a bomb goes off. One day, all of a sudden, China is attacking Taiwan shores. Who knows what happens, but you have the time to do it now. Take care of what you can. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.